What's up, my precious little peaches? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a look at the most interesting news that Warframe currently has on offer. Yes, that's right! Old man Vauban is getting an orbital strike. Now, I know that things around here as of late have been a little bit heavy, so I wanted to mix things up and bring in something a little bit lighter, something a bit brighter, something that involved shiny balls, because there is no better way to brighten up your day than getting your hands on some shiny balls. Now, if you have not checked out D.E. Scott's Twitter, you definitely should be following him, because he likes to post up a lot of clips when he's doing reworks and stuff. Now, as you guys know, he's actually been working on Vauban's, and he's been posting up some interesting tidbits for us to take a look at. Now, I didn't want to cover these straight away because there was really not too much to show off. However, I've amassed several clips that we can go ahead and put together and give you guys a bit of an idea as to what is going on. Now, in this very first video, as you can see right here, we've got good old man Vauban on the plains of Eidolon, and what is he doing? It looks like he is charging up his Teslas. So it looks like you can hold it down and kind of like have a max of 3 and then throw out 3 at the same time. But I'm gonna do this once because you can't see it on the screen right now. I'm actually gonna go ahead and take away the cam. I know everybody's been wishing for me to remove the cam, but I needed to show off something very specific for you guys that my cam is definitely blocking, and I'm not gonna be able to figure it out elsewhere. So, as you can see, he charges it up. Then, if you look very close to the ground, I don't know if you saw that, but I want you to pay attention to the Tesla that ends up here, okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of this. He's going to throw out his balls, right? I'm going to go backwards a little bit, right? Let's see. And then you can see that Tesla lands right there. Oh, you can't see my mouse. The Tesla where the play button is. Motherfucker, you can't see my mouse. God damn it. Well, like, where the little play button is, pay attention to that. And you see, do you see it run off? You see it run off? And you'll actually see it reappear in that small area, like where the play button is. Look at it. Look at it. It's going to roll back. It's rolling. It's rolling towards Vauban. So not only is he able to fling these things out, they're also going to be following him around. So we got a little bit of a juggle action to charge up how many. I don't know if it's him charging up these Teslas for more damage like he's currently doing now, or if he's actually charging them up to see how many he can get at once. So he can actually fling out multiple at once because he's got 3 going. He flings them outwards, and then all of a sudden they start rolling. Now, I didn't know if this was necessarily a feature that they were going to keep in, but in a previous tweet that he actually put out, if you can take a look right here, you'll actually see Vauban with a whole bunch of He did say that this was more Teslas than, you know, it was probably going to be available. But as you can see, they're actually going to be following Vauban around in game, so they'll be like mobile little shock mouses, kind of very similar to what we already have with the Corpus, how the Corpus have that little spawning pad and their little sniper guys will actually run around and follow. Well, it won't follow the sniper guys. The sniper guys are the ones that spawn it, but you know what I mean, the little shock little guys. So that's exactly what it looks like he's got going on over here. They're basically like mini Octavia rollers, even though technically it came out with Vauban came out first. So it looks like that's actually what they're going to be doing with that. And I find that to be very, very interesting because now Vauban is going to be a tad bit more mobile. I'm just curious as to see if there is going to be an extra effect when he flings them out from his juggling stance. Now, that isn't the only change because it's the first bit that I wanted to show off to you guys. There's actually been another clip that has been shown off. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. It's been a little bit since I saw this clip. But it's really, really interesting because this revolves around Vauban's Vortex and Bastille. Now, as you guys know, well, maybe you don't know because maybe you don't play Vauban, but I love Bastille. Bastille was actually my favorite ability from Vauban more than Vortex. Vortex was great because, you know, it pulled enemies into the middle and you could use explosives on them, but I really like Bastille because you can kind of get headshots and all of that kind of hullabaloo. But as you can see right here, they've done something a bit interesting. So you can see Vauban lays down a Bastille. All of the enemies are floating. Then all of a sudden, they get sucked into the middle. But even more interesting is if you take a look at the timer. And this is what I find to be like, I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I don't know if you can see it, but if you take a look at the corner of the screen, you'll actually notice that Bastille currently, after he's tossed it down, has a 14-second timer, right? So there's 14 seconds left on that Bastille. When all of a sudden it becomes a vortex. You see, it closes in on itself and becomes a vortex. It went up to 18 seconds. So it's almost like it has 2 different durations. Now, the thing that I'm very, very interested to find out is what the trigger is on this, because we actually see in an upcoming clip that you're able to have multiple Bastilles out at once. So it can't be like you click it and then all of a sudden you just click the button again and it collapses the Bastille. You can actually toss out multiple. So I'm not sure, because from the footage itself, I can't tell if he's re-aiming at the Bastille in order to get it to collapse in on itself, or if he's just aiming at the general direction. I don't know if it's like a soft targeting that's going on, or if it's more along the lines of you tap for a Bastille and then you hold to convert all of the Bastilles into a vortex, which is kind of freaking cool. So I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this, because I'm not necessarily a Vortex user. I'm definitely more of a Bastille user. So for those of you guys who really love Vortex, how do you feel about this? Do you think that this is an interesting change? Because to me, it almost kind of looks like Vauban is throwing out a net, and then he's kind of like dragging enemies away in his net, which I think is an interesting visual and an interesting thought process. It's also a great way to kind of convert 2 abilities into 1 ability. So that's what we're working with, just with Bastille on its own. But today we got an even more interesting clip. So as you can see right here, we've got, oh, play. Are you gonna play? Are you gonna play? Are you gonna fight me? Are you gonna fight me like you always do? Internet, do not fight me today. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, he's put down a Bastille, and then he's collapsed the Bastille, right? He's putting down a Bastille, or he's putting down a Vortex. Then the Vortex collapses into a Bastille, or the Bastille collapses into a Vortex. So he's putting it down again, and it looks like he's like taking it and he's collapsing it every single time. He's taking it and he's collapsing it. But even more interesting, he's actually stacking multiple Bastilles at once, so you can see that he's stacking multiple Bastilles. But what he's going to do here is he sucks them all in, and all of those orbs come into one, and then an orbital strike comes down. And the interesting bit about this, okay, I don't know if it's a different ability, but what you'll actually notice in the footage is it says HC Orbital Strike. And all of a sudden, and that it looks like it's its 3rd ability, because you can actually see the icon dim. So you can see, if you take a look at the 3rd icon where Bastille used to be, it has a new insignia that is like a blind, you know, like the radial blind from Excalibur. But as you can see, what he actually does is it dims, it says PC Orbital Strike, then placeholder, or PH Orbital Strike. Is it PC or PH? It doesn't matter. But as you can see, all of a sudden the Orbital Strike strikes down on the Vortex. Now, I don't know if this is going to be scaling damage. I don't know what it's going to be based off of. But it's a very, very interesting change for Vauban, because now he has an ability which I think doesn't overlap. Because that's one of the big issues that we had previously with Vauban, is his Teslas were never really powerful enough to kill enemies. It was more for like shocking them and holding them in place so you could kill them. Maybe some low-level enemies you could Tesla up. But we had CC there. His second ability was Mind Layer, which was more CC. Of course, there was some utility along with that when it came to like confusing enemies or shredding their armor. There was a little bit of that. And then his 3rd ability, of course, was Bastille, and his ultimate was Vortex. But now they've combined Bastille and Vortex into his ultimate, and then they have this Orbital Strike ability that looks like, I don't know if he's throwing it. It does look like a little grenade, actually. It does look like a little grenade that hits the ground. So it might be yet another ball ability, because that's how Vauban likes to roll. He just likes to have a bag of balls. But the only thing that I am very concerned about is, like, if it's gonna be a base damage thing, like, it needs to scale. The abilities damage needs to scale, mainly because of the fact that it's gonna end up by the way of the Tesla, right? The Teslas just do, like, a pittance of damage. See, there's the Orbital Strike grenade, then boom, Orbital Strike. But yeah, what do you call this? The Teslas do a pittance of damage. And if it's just a set amount of damage, it's not going to be that great. Unless it has some sort of added effect, then I don't really see it being all that powerful. Like, for, like, Because the thing is, Vauban's great for CC. And the thing about CC is powerful when you can't kill enemies outright. So that's really where Vauban shines. So if his damage output with that ability does not find a way to scale with more difficult targets, then where he shines isn't really gonna play well with just a straight up damage ability. So I'm crossing my fingers that they find a way to make it scale. And that's the biggest thing for me when it comes to this is, please, dear God, make it scale, because Vauban is really, really great for holding you down during long runs. That's the way that I used to use him always. It would be like long duration Zini defenses way back in the day. And that's actually what I would use him for, and we just sit in the same spot and I just hold things down with his Bastille all the time. But anyway, let me know how you feel about everything that you've seen so far. Does this get you excited about using Vauban again? Like I said, this isn't going to be like something that absolutely saves the game for me, but it is something a little bit interesting and different to talk about, rather than, I hate my life here in Warframe. I don't hate my life here in Warframe. It could be worse. It could be a lot better too. Regardless, I'm going to leave it at that before I start digging myself into a hole. So as always, leave your feelings down in the comments below, and love somebody, hurt nobody, touch your body. I think, is that and touch your body? I'm off today. I'm going to go play some Borderlands 3. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!